Yeah, what is that? So you touched upon at the beginning about how we need to rise up in these times, all of the thought leaders, right? And
Mhm.
insurance agents are a huge part of that, and a lot of them are complacent, let's say, or yeah, I wouldn't even say a lot of them. Just there are some that are complacent right now during this time. I've been watching your content over the last year. You stand up with I would say you stand up with force on what you believe in, but you do it in a very, very empathetic way. But you're not in this gray area. You know, like when it comes to politics, um, or any kind of matter that might people will dance around. You take a harsh stand on the side, but you keep that empathy level.
Yeah.
How can insurance agents that might be in that gray area, I mean, that feel scared
Mm.
to take those stands, what would some advice that you'd be willing to give to them?
Hold up.
I think, I mean, dude, listen, I mean, here's the deal. You can recant the statement that you made, which is most insurance agents are dominating right now. They're not. Most insurance agents are doing what most financial advisors are doing, which is they're just stressing the fuck out, right? People
Mm,
are uncertain right now. They're uncertain about their future. They're uncertain about the market. They're uncertain in a part of the presidential election year, particularly with the spiciest election that we've ever had in history, in
yeah.
conditions and riots and protesting COVID-19 and kids not going to school. There's never been more uncertainty in the marketplace, uncertainty amongst normal human beings day to day. So you have agents who typically, and I'm going to say this in the kindest of ways, most agents suck ass at marketing and selling what they actually do. And they're actually not that good at fulfillment either, right? It's like realtors. Most realtors suck. There's a percentage of realtors that are amazing. There's a percentage of insurance agents who see themselves as true trusted advisors that are amazing. And there's the same thing across the board with any industry. A vast majority of the people in any industry suck ass, right? And they suck for one simple reason, which is the frame they have on themselves is weak. If you came into the game to make money, you're never going to have the leverage to say what you need to say. Like the only reason you came was to make money, right? Then you just have to be, you either have to be a complete money driven person, which very few people actually are. There are people I'm around where their purpose, their God, their everything in life is to get paid. Like that is it. They care about it more than getting laid. They care about more than purpose. Their purpose is their orgasm is the wire. That's their
Right.
orgasm. Like they're more interested in that orgasm than they are a sexual orgasm. They're more interested in the drugs, alcohol. They will work just to get paid, and they'll do it 7 days a week, right? Now, if we take that anomaly and we put that out of the equation, vast majority of people are not actually driven by money. So then you're okay, well, what are you driven by? And this comes back to the frame conversation, which is what is the purpose of you even being in this industry? Is it because you couldn't do something else? Like, is that what you
Mm,
got into this for? So I run a ton. My wife and I run a ton of several businesses in the hair industry. We have a hair salon chain. We have our own hair products, our own hair extension products, and we also train hairstylists. And the one thing we tell our hairstylists constantly, which is just like talking to insurance agents, which is this, which is if you don't actually give a shit about two things: one, the art of hair, and two, the engagement of people, then get out. Because if you have to force yourself to care about the art and you have to force yourself to care about people, you're never going to thrive in our game. And our artists are going from making 40, 50,000 a year to making 2 to 300,000 a year, working 3 days a week in the salon, right? So like this is a
wow.
very different psychological shift that you're going through. So I would say the same things to advisors, right? And agents, which is if you don't fundamentally enjoy the conversation of money, if you don't like talking about it, if you're unwilling to have hard conversations about it, if it's not something that you feel adept at, if you've not studied it with passion, what is money? What's the purpose of money? How does money work? How does circulation work? What is capitalism? What is socialism? How does this work? What is the difference between stocks and insurance? How am I? If you don't have like wake up and kind of get a boner over it, and you're like, oh, dude, I got hard nipples and hair's going up on the back of my neck. Excited to study some shit. If on the weekends you're not listening to podcasts because you're obsessed to, not because you have to, because some of your senior agents said you have to listen to this, you're like, no, no, I want to. I'm obsessed. I want to. If you don't have that, then you need to find it or get out of the industry and go find something that you can give a shit about, where the obsession of the actual what the game is, the game If you're not obsessed about the game, you'll never be great at it. Okay. Second piece with this is you have to be obsessed with people. You guys, the personal development began in life insurance. It began like personal, like if you go to Wallace D. Wattles, all of these original personal development, psychology, prosperity thinking trainers from the Depression came out of the insurance industry. Why? Who the fuck wants to buy insurance and you're in the Depression? Nobody. Like, hey, I can't eat. Would you like to buy some life insurance? No, I do not. That's the worst plan ever. How about you come back after I, hit you in the face with the shovel? That's a stupid idea. Get the fuck out of my house. So they have to come up with a different frame. And so the frame around dealing with engaging people and the frame around engaging and dealing with with money, and then there's the frame of dealing with you. Because you have to be able to navigate certainty amidst those two conversations. So if you lack the frame on the money conversation, you lack the frame on the people conversation, you lack the frame on yourself, dude, you just need to get a job. Like, stop pretending that you're going to do this. Like, I've met hundreds of failures inside of the insurance industry who will not be honest with themselves. They're not about people. They're not about money, and they can't own a frame on themselves. It's okay. Go get a job. Quit fucking your family up. Quit being broke. Quit struggling to succeed, because you're not going to make it. Like, they're going to tell you and pump you up. You can do it. You can't fucking do it. You won't pull it off. I'm around too many people who bullshit themselves. If you can be honest with yourself and go get a job working somewhere for somebody else who does have that frame, then possibly in that environment, you can learn the skills over time and find that fire. But being by yourself as an isolated agent, which most agents are, that is a very hard problem. Working from home, trying to deal with the game now with your kids home from school, going to school because of COVID, with a spouse who's like, when are you going to make some money? And you're over here trying to call Grandma Mildred. Your marketing sucks ass. Your sales skills suck ass. You have no passion for money. You're like, what should I do? And your listeners going, boy, this is really inspiring, Garrett. I appreciate that you tuned into the show. But what I'm wanting you to catch is that if you don't catch this frame on yourself, like, if you don't get these frames on yourself, it doesn't really matter. So what I did and what you guys have done is you have the frames on yourself. That's it. You have the frame on you. You have the frame on money. You have a frame on people. Because you have that trifecta, it makes sense. So when COVID hits, when people don't have that frame, they melt like a stick of butter in the microwave. And you and I, all of us, we're just like, oh, dude, the frame hit. It shook the frame. And we're like, whoa, wait a second. Everybody else melting like a stick of butter in the microwave. I've got an opportunity to own all the microwaves.
Right.
And we grow versus contract.